Hi there, hey there, ho there. We're as happy as can be. Another week, another session of 3-ball walk. Eddie,
Yeah.
Bob, I'm Julio, and baseball season's wrapping down. And special treat for the first 5 minutes, we're going to trade out Bob. We're bringing in Zach Allen.
Can I get a lefty?
Come on,
We're
Zach.
going to bring in the lefty with the
I am
Red
a
Sox
lefty.
cap.
I'm a lefty.
We're bringing a lefty.
This is our Red Sox expert. You know, hey, you wear the Red
Just because you wear a
Sox.
hat doesn't mean that you're
You
an
wear the
expert.
Red
Are you
Sox.
a Red Sox fan, or you just wear the hat?
I'm a Red Sox fan.
Fan.
I have a guy that I grew up playing baseball with who was a little bit better than me and was their starting second baseman in '04 when they won the World Series. So, Mark Bellhorn.
Okay.
Bellhorn, Jim.
There you go. And not only that, I mean, and even currently, last night you went to Florida FSU volleyball game. Who'd you go with?
There was we took 3 of our students from here in Gainesville.
And who'd you sit with?
Well, we were 2 rows behind, or 2 rows.
Come
in
on,
front
I'm
of
setting you up. It's
David Ross. Yeah.
David Ross.
There you
So
Double winner.
More
And-
formally from the Cubs, but
Wearing FSU gear or wearing
he
Florida
was
gear?
wearing very neutral gear. There were no logos anywhere for either team.
He actually once said, and this was just a few months ago, when they had the celebration, the 20th anniversary of the '98 College World Series team, he said, you know, I grew up in Tallahassee. I was a FSU fan my whole life, but in baseball, I'm always for the Gators. And that, he didn't say in the other sports he wasn't, but that kind of left it open. But he was neutral. That's good. And you hung out with him, and he's doing well?
I did not hang out with him. He seemed like he was doing well. Took lots of pictures with 40-year-old women that probably recognized him more from Dancing with the Stars than from his crouching and wearing a mask.
Well, that's
Well,
Frank.
that makes it simple, yeah.
And Frank Thomas, too. How is Frank Thomas more known?
You played baseball? It's a great commercial.
So, while you were watching volleyball, the Red Sox went out and won,
They did.
and you saw David Price 3-hit shutout.
Yep.
You know, dealing, and the Red Sox first time since 1946,
100 games.
100 games.
So the
Flashed on the
the
score.
big thing is, who cares about 100 games if you can't get to the World Series? So we'll see.
They also clinched the division.
They did,
Yes.
and the team record. Here's an interesting thought. The team record. What are they? 100 and what? Because it's pretty easy.
146.
146, 162. That means they got 16 games left.
16.
The team record for wins in a season, 105.
Oh, that's doable. They're playing the Orioles like 3 times.
So you ought to pencil 3 in there, so all they got to win is 2 games down
They
the
play the
stretch.
Yankees and the Indians, and so I would assume that you'd at least.
Out of 16, can they go 6 and 10?
6 and 10.
6 and 10.
Yeah, I think it's doable.
I think it's doable.
I
So
think they could
What
go
is
10
the?
and
Let me
6.
ask this off the cuff. What is the record for the most wins any team has ever had in a season?
actually, it is the Mariners in 2001, I want to say, and they won 119. And when the who was it the other year? The Golden State Warriors lost in the
It's a best.
NBA Finals championship about 2 years ago, after breaking the Bulls record for most wins in a season. All 4 of the major sports, okay, the Mariners that year, the Golden State Warriors losing, the perfect New England Patriots, they wound up losing to the Giants in the Super Bowl, and I can't remember who it is, but all 4 of the winningest teams in all 4 of the major sports failed to win their championship that year.
Well, let's hope that doesn't happen.
It was, in basketball, it was the Bulls of '95 who did win the NBA championship. but now-
116. So they can't break that record then.
Can't break it.
Did that count postseason too, or just regular
No,
season?
that's regular season.
So they cannot break that record. So there you go.
But yeah, but you know, great year, and you're looking forward to it.
I am.
Were you a Red Sox fan before they started winning?
Well, I was a fan when Mark got traded to that team, so
And that's
I'm
when you-
officially a Braves fan.
Hey.
But they bring their roots from Boston as well. So.
Well, thanks for joining us, and I told you I wasn't going to put it. No, because
as a fan, what do you helping the Red Sox? What do they need to do to go all the way? You think?
Just they got to be consistent in their pitching. That's their. I think they've got the bats for it. You just got to be consistent in your pitching.
And last question: as a Red Sox fan, Pedroia won't be back next year. How do you feel?
It's sad. Like he gives a lot of energy to that team for sure. So I hope that, I mean, they've found it obviously a little bit in different people. I think Mookie has done that this year, so it'll be sad. There's a lot of people in Boston that love Pedroia.
An MVP, Martinez or Betts? Who do you pick?
I would pick Betts. So.
There you
Okay,
go.
we trade out the
Let's go for the
Boston
right-handed
Red
closer.
Sox. Bring in the former Boston Braves,
Braves
still
are
in
back.
Boston. Obviously, they went to Milwaukee
Thanks,
after
Zach.
that, but we still don't know him as the Milwaukee
Zach
Braves.
Allen, ladies and gentlemen, our special guest for today. Yay, Zach.
The Braves.
The Braves.
You bring in the Braves jersey.
Yes. Yes.
So tell me, they
7.5
have they
up?
clinched 7.5
No,
up?
it's not a foregone conclusion by any stretch of the imagination. I am excited. I think Eddie's excited. Any Braves fan is excited. 7.5 up. I want to thank Philadelphia for helping them because nobody saw this coming, and I'm very excited.
Have
but
the Braves been that good, or is Philadelphia, who's now only 3 games over 500, have the Phillies kind of just
the
folded?
Phillies have given the Braves some help, but I think the Braves have been pretty consistent. They haven't set the world on fire, but I think they've been consistent. And you got Acuna Jr. has torn it up. I mean, he's the only guy I can think of when you talk Rookie of the Year is Soto, but that's something we can discuss in the second half. Sosa, sorry, in the second half.
Why? That's where I was going with this.
I think that Sosa is the third youngest to he tied Mel Ott for
Mel
we
Ott.
actually, you want to know something? We actually talked this a few
19-year-old
weeks
as
ago.
a teenager.
We actually talked about this a few weeks ago when Acuna did it as 20 and all the 20-year-olds that have hit 20 home runs. And we said only 2 19-year-olds have ever done it.
Mhm.
And remember, do you guys remember the answer?
No, off the top of my head, I do not.
Come on, it's only 3 weeks ago's question.
That's a lot of time that's gone.
The record is Tony Canigliaro
Right,
with
Canigliaro.
24.
Right.
And then Bryce Harper hit 20.
Harper.
Right.
Okay, which means out of the 3 19-year-olds that have hit 20 home runs, if he hits another one, 2 of them can be on the same team at the same time.
Yep, Harper and him. Yep.
You know, and he's got a chance to hit 24.
Yeah.
I mean, 5 in the last 16 games, that's a lot of home runs, but he should
He's tearing it up.
pass Harper.
I would think so.
And I actually watched the feature on Baseball Tonight with Harold Reynolds talking about him, and he said a lot of those guys, even Griffey was a great ball player with the defense, and at 19, you saw a lot of raw skills. They say this guy here knows what he's doing. He's going up there with a plan. He's a professional hitter at the age of 19, which is something that Griffey and Bryce Harper were not.
Right.
You know, Griffey was hitting, after 100 games in the big leagues, Griffey was hitting 247. Harper was hitting 260. This kid is hitting 315 with 19 home runs as a 19-year-old.
That's a 19-year-old.
That's not bad.
He started off an A-ball this year, I think. He was an A-ball.
No,
When the season
really?
started. Yeah. Yeah, when the season started.
And they just say he is, and the big discussion, the best 19-year-old, and who's the pitcher, the guy that was with the Blue Jays that's on Baseball Tonight?
I watch the MLB Network, so I don't really watch.
I mean, he's on MLB.
Oh,
That's what I'm mad.
I don't
The
know.
reliever, Plesac.
Yeah, Plesac, yeah.
Plesac. Plesac sits there and says, in my entire career, this is the best 19-year-old I've ever seen
Wow.
in baseball.
Wow, he's
Wasn't the
good.
police sacks the thing on Lost in Space? Weren't they always the bad guys, the police sacks?
Plesac, yeah, I think that.
Maybe it was Journey to the Center of the Earth.
Danger, Will Robinson.
Yeah, I don't know. Anyway,
Danger, Will Robinson.
that was off there. Hey, but you know what? The Braves have a chance to become the best record in the National League. They're only 2 games behind the Cubs.
Well, that whole and the Cubs. The interesting thing with the Cubs is they and the thing the Braves don't have, and this is kind of, well, they win their division, so they're in. But if you look at who the Braves have to play 19 times, and then you look at the Cardinals having to play the Cubs, the Brewers, the Dodgers having to play the Diamondbacks, the Rockies.
Yep.
I mean, that's why I'm not a big fan of the wild card, because what those other teams have to do to make it, you know.
Right.
Come on now.
Right.
Come on. You were a big fan of the wild card when your Cardinals were in it and getting close.
No, the Cardinals are still in it.
But you were a big fan. It was like, oh, they're only a
You
few
wanna
back.
know
It
the
makes
best
it,
thing-
It makes it interesting. That's what you said the other day.
Tonight-
The wild card makes it interesting.
That's right.
That is exactly
I remember
the
that.
quote. I can go back and find
That was
it.
3 weeks ago, I think.
I've
you
never
said
been
that.
a fan of the wild
You
card.
said the wild card makes it
You
interesting.
did say that.
I do not mind the wild card if they had a balanced schedule.
You said the wild card makes it interesting. You didn't say because of an unbalanced schedule. It is what it is. They all know it when they go in, right? Everybody had the same starting thing. I don't like it either, by the way. I don't like the I think you ought to play just the same people all the time.
The Braves have to play the Red Sox.
Oh, well, so
Yeah.
You know?
eventually you're going to have to play the Red Sox anyway.
Yeah, but you shouldn't have to play them 6 times during the regular season when the Mets
Have they
get to
already
play
got
the
them done?
Yankees. Yeah, they've got
Yeah,
them
they're
done.
done.
Okay, well then
The
doesn't
only
matter.
ones that aren't,
got
there's always someone in there.
Somebody's always playing in their league.
But the one team that I'm sitting there as far as the Rockies watched the Rockies last night. LeMahieu with the walk off.
Yep. Yeah.
First one in his career.
Yep.
And they
Yep.
walked off, and pretty much, I mean, the Diamondbacks right now it's one game is the difference being 1 out or 3 out.
Yep.
And in one swing, it was a different, and the Dodgers are still hanging in there.
They're there. Yep.
The interesting with the Dodgers is if the Dodgers could just not have to play the Cincinnati Reds.
That's exactly right. They won yesterday, but
They finally won. They lost 6 in a row,
Yeah,
and they
6 in a row.
finished, winning 6 out of 7 against them.
Yep.
And that's basically what's a limit. Now the Dodgers head to St. Louis where they start a series tonight.
Yep. That's going to be very interesting.
Well, you're talking about whether it's balanced or not. What if you're Oakland? All right, you're Oakland. You have won 89 games. What if you're the Yankees, who've won how many now?
I know it's one game.
They've won 90. The Yankees have won 90 games. If either of those teams were in any one of the National League divisions, they would be running away with the division.
Mhm.
They'd be 10 games up.
Yeah.
The Tampa Bay Rays, if they were in the National League, would be a game behind instead of out of it.
Right.
So, some years it's that way. Some years your division's really good, and some years your division's really not that good.
Yeah, but when you get to play the Rangers and the Royals and the White Sox and the Orioles,
They haven't. Houston's had to play. I mean,
No, they
Oakland's
have.
had to
But
play
I'm just
Houston
saying,
and Seattle.
what's the worst team in the National League?
Record-wise?
Yeah,
the
go
Marlins,
back.
right?
57 and 87.
57. Look at the Baltimore Orioles for me, and then you tell me
Baltimore's won 41 games.
41. They'd be 16 games behind the Marlins. 16. And then
But-
you want to
but-
know why
but-
the Yankees and the Red Sox. So everything is relevant.
But they're not. They're also having to play the Yankees
So
and the Red Sox
right.
more times than anybody else. So if the Marlins played the Yankees and the Red Sox the same amount of time, my guess is they probably have 41 wins as well
Down the drum. Yeah.
We'll see how.
because they're
What
a bad
happened
team.
with the Red Sox beat the Braves.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, that wasn't good.
No.
No, it
That's
wasn't
when
good.
that's when-
And that's going to happen. I think whoever wins the American League wins the series.
So do I.
well, see, that has no bearing on it whatsoever.
I think all the teams in the American League that are going to be in the playoffs are better than all the teams in the National League that are going to be in the playoffs.
And I know you were looking at Rookie of the Year and MVP and different things like that. We asked our guest, Zach Allen. Once again, Zach, thanks for joining us today. Great having guests and everything like that. We need to pick up the ratings and with guests like that.
Hey, somebody's waving at us in our on studio. Hey guys, fans coming by.
Yeah.
Our street side.
We're at the Street Side Studio there on University Avenue. But
Most valuable player. I mean,
most valuable player. But I want to know Manager of the Year. And I got to give my shameless plug.
go ahead.
Who's my shameless plug?
Whoever the manager is for the St. Louis Cardinals.
Cardinals.
Whoa,
Yeah,
he only managed half the
Half a
year.
year, but,
But
he
he still-
turned it around. I
He
mean,
did
you
turn
know,
it around.
How about the manager for the
Turn it
Reds?
The Reds are way out of it.
Still manager of the year. I mean, they were way out of it when
They
he
were
took
way,
over.
way out of
Come on,
it.
you know me. I'm the homer. I'm the guy who
You're going with the Marlins?
Craig Counsell.
Oh, yeah.
He looked last night in the win over the Cubs. That is
And they're within a game of the
they're
Cubs
within
now.
a game of the Cubs. The Cardinals are right there. And I think it's going to wind up being two of those three teams. The interesting thing,
Cardinals
and you
are
just
3.5
brought up
now.
the Yankees.
Yeah, we got to go. Time's up.
Oh,
We'll
the
talk about the
A's.
second half.
The A's, one game behind the Yankees
Yep.
for
We'll
home
talk about it
field
in
now
just a
on that
second.
wild card game.
We'll be right
We'll
back.
talk more
All right.
wild card standings in a minute.